Let's jump right in. Genetics can seem like a complex subject. Could you tell us why it's important? Dr. Smith, as Dr. Smith. Genetics is the study of genes, the fundamental units of heredity. Genes are like blueprints that determine our traits, from eye color to our risk of certain diseases. That's a great way to put it. So genes are like tiny instruction manuals inside us. Dr. Smith, as Dr. Smith. Exactly. And understanding these instructions is crucial for advancing medicine, agriculture, and even our understanding of human history. You mentioned that genes are made of DNA. What exactly is DNA and why is it so important? Dr. Smith, as Dr. Smith. DNA, or deoxyribonucleic acid, is a molecule that carries the genetic instructions for building and maintaining an organism. Think of it as a long, twisted ladder. A ladder? That's an interesting analogy. Dr. Smith, as Dr. Smith. Yes, the two sides of the ladder are made up of sugar and phosphate molecules. The rungs of the ladder are made of 4 chemical building blocks called bases: adenine A, guanine G, cytosine C, and thymine T. And these bases hold the genetic information? Dr. Smith, as Dr. Smith. Precisely. The specific sequence of these bases along the DNA ladder determines the instructions for building and maintaining an organism, much like the order of letters in a sentence conveys meaning. Dr. Smith, as Dr. Smith. Furthermore, DNA has the remarkable ability to replicate itself, ensuring that genetic information is passed down from one generation to the next. This replication process is crucial during cell division, allowing organisms to grow and repair damaged tissues. Occasionally, errors can occur during replication, leading to mutations, which can sometimes result in genetic disorders or contribute to evolution. Dr. Smith, as Dr. Smith. Indeed, these mutations can introduce new traits, driving the diversity of life we see on Earth today. So DNA is not just a blueprint for life, but also a dynamic molecule that plays a key role in the evolution and diversity of living organisms. So how do these DNA sequences translate into something tangible, like our eye color or height? It's a fascinating process that starts at the very core of our biology. Dr. Smith, as Dr. Smith, that's where genes come in. They are the fundamental units of heredity. A gene is a specific segment of DNA that provides the instructions for building a particular protein. These instructions are crucial for the development and functioning of all living organisms. Proteins are the workhorses of our cells, carrying out a wide variety of functions. They are involved in virtually every process within our bodies. So genes are like individual recipes in the DNA cookbook. Each one has a specific role to play. Dr. Smith, as Dr. Smith. Exactly. Just like recipes, genes provide the detailed instructions needed to create something specific. Each gene contains the instructions for making a specific protein, which then performs a particular function in the body. And these proteins determine our traits. They influence everything from our physical appearance to how our bodies function. For example, the gene for eye color provides the instructions for making proteins that produce pigments, giving our eyes their unique color. This is why we see such a variety of eye colors in the population, and we inherit these genes from our parents, which explains why we share traits with them. Our genetic makeup is a blend of both our parents' DNA. Dr. Smith, as Dr. Smith. Absolutely. This inheritance is what makes each of us unique. We inherit half of our DNA from our mother and half from our father, which is why we are a unique mix of their genetic traits. This combination results in the incredible diversity we see in human beings. If we inherit genes from our parents, why aren't we exact copies of them? This question has intrigued scientists and laypeople alike for generations. Dr. Smith, as Dr. Smith. That's because of genetic variation. Our genes come in different versions, called alleles. These variations arise from slight differences in the DNA sequence within a gene. These small differences can have a big impact on how genes are expressed. So, like different versions of the same recipe, leading to slightly different outcomes. Imagine baking cookies with slight tweaks in the ingredients each time. Dr. Smith, as Dr. Smith. Precisely. Just like those cookies, the variations in our genes lead to the unique traits we each possess. For example, the gene for eye color has alleles for brown, blue, green, and other colors. The combination of alleles we inherit from our parents determines our own eye color. This is why siblings can have different eye colors even though they share the same parents. This genetic variation is what makes each of us unique. It's the reason no two people, except identical twins, are exactly alike. Dr. Smith, as Dr. Smith. Absolutely. Genetic diversity is a cornerstone of our individuality. It's the reason why we have a diversity of appearances, from hair and eye color to height and facial features. Genetic variation is essential for the survival of a species, as it provides the raw material for natural selection. Without it, species would struggle to adapt to changing environments and could face extinction.
The potential applications of CRISPR technology are vast, ranging from treating genetic disorders to developing new disease-resistant crops. Host, as Neil. It sounds like CRISPR could revolutionize medicine. Absolutely. CRISPR holds immense promise for treating genetic disorders. Imagine being able to correct the faulty gene that causes cystic fibrosis or sickle cell anemia. Host, as Neil. That would be life-changing for so many people. What about the applications in agriculture? CRISPR could also lead to crops that are more resistant to pests, diseases, and harsh environmental conditions, enhancing food security for a growing population. You're absolutely right. Gene editing raises profound ethical questions, particularly when it comes to editing the human germline, which refers to sperm, eggs, and embryos. Host, as Neil. What are some of the concerns surrounding germline editing? Germline editing means that any changes made to the DNA would be passed down to future generations. This raises concerns about unintended consequences, such as unforeseen mutations or the potential for creating genetic enhancements that could exacerbate social inequalities. Host, as Neil. These are serious ethical dilemmas. How are scientists and policymakers addressing these concerns? There's an ongoing global conversation about the ethical and societal implications of gene editing. Many scientists and ethicists believe that a cautious and transparent approach is essential, with strict regulations to guide the use of this powerful technology. The field of genetics is rapidly evolving, with new discoveries and technologies emerging all the time. One exciting area is the development of personalized medicine, where treatments are tailored to an individual's unique genetic makeup. Host, as Neil. So, instead of a one-size-fits-all approach, treatments could be customized to each patient's genetic profile? Exactly. This personalized approach has the potential to revolutionize healthcare, leading to more effective treatments and fewer side effects. Host, as Neil. What other advancements are on the horizon? Another exciting area is the use of artificial intelligence and big data to analyze vast amounts of genetic information. This could lead to new insights into complex diseases and accelerate the development of new treatments. The field of genetics is full of wonder and possibilities. To young people interested in science, I encourage you to embrace your curiosity, ask questions, and never stop exploring the mysteries of life. Host, as Neil. Excellent advice. Dr. Smith, thank you for sharing your expertise and insights with us today. It was my pleasure, Neil. Let's continue to explore the universe with